couple of gooners.
Last time out at White Hart Lane, it wasn't a good place. You got smashed to pieces.
No, we got smashed by them and smashed by Newcastle that period.
That was you not qualifying for top four,
yeah,
right?
but we had a wobble before that because we lost to Palace, Southampton and Brighton. That was the first wobble. Then we kind of overcome that and then we came to White Hart Lane against Spurs. But
Can you take... I always wonder about this, and you've played in these games. Can you take form into a derby? Does it matter, or because
you can take form into a derby? I know it's a derby, but usually the team that's in form...
In this case, Arsenal.
Yeah, settle the best, quickest because they're comfortable with what they're playing, they're confident. And that's how it is. That's how it has been. Certainly when you look at the state of the other derbies that have been played, when you look at last season, I mean, Arsenal, when they went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last year, did not handle that occasion one bit from the very get-go. I mean, listen, a couple of questionable decisions, like the penalty. I still, to this day, don't think when Cedric leans on, I think it's Son goes down and gets a penalty. That would never get given. But Rob Holding...
Well, it does get given.
Yeah, well, obviously, donuts. Rob Holding, absolute, experienced player, lost his head, fouled Son had him on toast. Use your, you know what I mean? Use your experience, drags him down, and I think the second one, he blocks him off, kind of with his elbow. It's a red card, and then, obviously, Kane getting his couple of goals.
Yeah. So that's the problem I think you've got, no matter how bad Spurs are. And let's be fair, Spurs are only fifth.
Yeah.
They're not that bad at the moment, right? They've only lost, say only, but they're not, 5 games have lost, right? They're not flying, I know that. They've won, I think, 2 of the last 5, right? So they're not flying. But any team, but any Spurs team with Harry Kane in, they're a danger.
Do you know what they are, right? And that's where, listen, that's how good he is, because that is... I mean, I'll answer that question first, and then I'll go back to the team that started against Spurs, right? So, but you're right, and that's the thing about, you look at Harry Kane against Crystal Palace. First half against Crystal Palace, they were a little bit huffing and puffing, weren't really creating anything. Crystal Palace had the best chance with Ayew first half, should have passed it to Elise. Shot, rubbish shot,
awful.
doesn't score.
Yeah.
But Kane scores the first goal, which is a good header, really good header. But
I still blame the keeper, but yeah.
But the second one is just him being him, and the game's gone. Touch, finish, bang. And that's how good he is. So what you've got to do is you've got to get people in front of him, Thomas Partey to screen him, and then you've got Gabriel and Saliba to come up behind him. And exactly what Aston Villa did. The first 20 minutes, which I think it's a record for him, didn't touch the ball in 20 minutes. That was the blueprint what Aston Villa did to him. But when you're as good as he is, and in this particular game, where he's got more North London derby goals than anyone, it's like he lives for this game.
Is he the only player that, if you are going to do a combined 11, which we're not, but is he the only one that gets into that one from Spurs?
If you're talking about right now, then yeah, the only other argument some Spurs fans would probably say would be Romero. So it'd be Saliba and Romero. Yeah. Although I think Gabriel has looked better the last couple of weeks than Saliba has.
Yeah.
But at fullback, absolutely. What with Zinchenko or Tierney, Ben White at right back.
Yeah.
The midfield 3.
Ben White, by the way, at right back has been a revelation, isn't he? We saw his first game at right back, didn't we? At the Palace.
Against Zaha, and we both said, this will be a test.
This will be a real test. And he I wouldn't say he had him on toast, because a few times Zaha had chances, but for much of the game, he had him in his pocket. It was fantastic. He's been brilliant there.
So this was the team that started that game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we got beat 3-0.
Okay. Bearing in mind you had a sending off as well, right?
Yeah, so Ramsdale in goal. Cedric at right back. Rob Holding, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. El Neni, Odegaard, Xhaka. Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli.
Okay. That's not a bad team.
Thomas Partey.
No, I know, but you're saying he's the big...
No Saliba. No Zinchenko. That's 3 big players.
Who do you say is key Sunday for Arsenal? You're putting Thomas Partey at the top of that list, aren't you?
Yeah, he'd always be the most important. But when you look at the likes of Saka and Martinelli, it'd be interesting to see how Martinelli gets on. But Saka is the one. Every time he gets the ball, what Arsenal have to do is, and Spurs fans would have to agree, they have been notoriously slow starters. Probably the Spurs. Yeah. Probably the 9 weeks. You'd have to say...
Well, they always go a goal behind, don't
always.
They?
They start
really slow. I know
they
didn't last time out, but yes.
Really
Against Palace, I think it was the first time for a long time, yeah.
But Arsenal come out the blocks rapid. So that's what Arsenal have to do. Get in their faces, plan Spurs off, try and get yourself in the head, and then see what happens after that.
What happens if Spurs don't win this game? Because they're sniffing. Man United are in 4th place at the moment on 35 points. And Spurs are 2 points behind, right? We're still getting to that stage where it's coming up to halfway through the season, so we're not even there yet. Although Spurs will be, after Sunday, will be on 19 games, so that is halfway through. But if Spurs lose, it's not the end of the world. They've still got every chance of getting top 4 or not. Yeah,
of course they have, Spurs. You can't write them off. I think they've still got players in their squad. I know at times their midfield's looked a little bit one-dimensional. You've got Højbjerg and Basuma and Skip, and Bentoncourt's been good, but he's been injured.
How do you pronounce Brian Gill's name?
Brian Hill.
Brian Hill. See, he's found a little bit of form recently.
He has done, yeah.
Second half against Palace, he was great.
I thought he was very good. So, yeah, they've got options, but I'm not ruling Spurs out. Not in the top 4 because, as you said they're only 2 points off it. Do you know what I mean? Only 2 points off it. They could put a run together. Son might start firing because they need him.
Yeah, it's strange his form this season.
Just deserted him.
I've seen glimpses of it.
Yeah, but there's also been glimpses of when he's been, even his touch at the minute, like it's bouncing off him. Yeah. He just doesn't look like, maybe the face mask is bothering him because we saw it against, I think it was Villa,
that's right.
where he won the ball back and he just ripped his face mask off and threw it because it must be frustrating for him.
Yeah.
But like he's a good player, he's a top quality player, so his form will be back. He could be dangerous in the game on Sunday against Arsenal.
Kane, let me ask you, talking of Harry Kane, he needs 2 more to beat Jimmy Greaves' all-time record leading goal scorer at White Hart Lane at Spurs. As a striker, when you go into a game and you know you're close to a record, does that spur you on even more? Do you remember it? Do you think about this when you're on the pitch?
Not really, because I think for him, and when you're a goal scorer, I can remember trying to get into the 100 club, and I got 99 on the Saturday against Wolves. So I thought, well, listen, I know I am going to score again at some stage. So it doesn't matter how, if it's not next week, the week after.
No, but when you took to the pitch, you knew that was in the back of your mind.
But you don't panic because Harry Kane knows he's 1 goal to equal it, 2 to beat it.
But he'll want to do it in the North London derby.
It's not even so much about that.
You don't think so?
No, because I don't think he'll be thinking about records. He'll be thinking about wanting to win the game.
Yeah.
But if he scores 2, he does it anyway. But he will know in himself how good he is, and that he go, well, I need 2 goals. That's going to happen. Like it's a fact. Just like he's going to beat Rooney's and by injury and touch wood, I hope it never happens to him because he's a phenomenal player. But even in his head, even though he hasn't broken Rooney's record yet for England, he's going to, and he knows he's going to.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Keep your calls coming in 03717223344. We'll talk Spurs against Arsenal. It's the big game on Sunday. Darren Bent, what will the score be?
Quite a lot. Owen said 2-1, but I'm
Owen Hargreaves said that.
I want to say 3-1. Do you know what? I'm going 3-1.
I'm going 3-1. Big ask, Benny.
I'm going 3-1.
So I said that Man United would beat Man City 3-1,
which is a big. So it's a big ask for Arsenal to beat Spurs 3-1. But you think you could beat the champions 3-1?
What's the bigger surprise there?
If you beat City 3-1.
You get into Tottenham's backyard and beat them 3-1, or United, who are on the best form they've had since 2013.
It's definitely you beating City.
You think so?
City have got arguably the most dangerous player on the planet.
Yeah, but we got Rashford.
Would you have
Marcus and Mbappe?
Right now, who would you rather have? Rashford down the middle, Rashford or Haaland?
Huh?
You heard what I said.
Why down the middle? Because Rashford doesn't play down the middle.
No, but he's been playing down the middle, scoring goals.
No, he hasn't. He's been playing wide left.
You got one choice: Haaland or Rashford.
Yeah. Cut me, I'll bleed red.
So you're taking Rashford over Haaland.
You bleed red as well.
Rashford or Haaland? Simple question.
Well, you know the answer, so I'm not going to say it.
Say it then.
Rashford, stick it up your...
Over Haaland.
Stick up your jumper. When we come back, we'll be talking about the North London derby 037. All right, who would you rather have, right?
What?
Who would you rather have? Martinelli?
Yeah.
Or Rashford?
Right now?
Yeah.
Martinelli.
Sorry, that's more ridiculous.
That's more ridiculous than the guy who's got 21 Premier League goals.
What are you talking about?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Martinelli.
No, you wouldn't.
So, but you'd rather have Rashford over Haaland?
No, but you'd rather... See? Look at you smiling.
All serious question, though. What is more ridiculous?
Yours is more ridiculous.
What?
You'd rather have Martinelli than Rashford.
You'd rather have Rashford than Haaland. Haaland's got 21 goals this year. Sorry, just in the league.
Martinelli over Rashford, yeah?
Right now.
Yeah?
One team sits up.
Would you do that? Yeah. You'd have Danny Welbeck over him. Of course you would.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.